Hello and welcome to this jet strategy guide. In this video, we'll discuss strategies you can apply to escape enemy jets, break missile lock, or even dodge missiles when you have no flares. Let's get started. Things that you must know if you're flying jets. Wildcat range is 650 meters. These shouldn't be able to target you beyond this range. There's a different stall ceiling for every map. In this map, it's right above 500 meters altitude. In case that you don't know, stall is where your jet comes to a complete stop and starts to fall down. It will take a few seconds to recover and start flying again. It's not a position that you would want to find yourself in if you're being chased by another jet, although sometimes it can be used defensively. Right off the bat, if the enemy jet is using radar missiles, do not wait too long before using your flares, or you will receive damage. In a situation like this where you're facing the enemy jet directly, just use flares when you hear the lock-on sound. I already used my flares and the enemy jet is going back towards their base, so I don't want to chase him because I do not want to be shot down by their wildcat. In a situation like this, I rather go towards my wildcats and hope that they can use more than 10% of their brain capacity and read my play and target him. He chose to come after me instead, so he was targeted by my team and he crashed while trying to escape. So now I have time to repair my jet, and here's a tip about repairing your jet. To maximize its benefit, try to use the repair if you are sure that you're not going to get hit. If you're being repaired and you get hit, the repair will stop. A safe area to avoid getting hit or being locked on is to the right and left side of the mountain. If you spawn US, that's your right side from the spawn, and if you spawn Russia, then it's your left side. Right side of the mountain is generally better if you need to hide or escape, because the left side has a hill where enemy wildcats and tanks can camp. On Flashpoint, a lot of fights take place in the middle of the map, so E1, C1, and D1, and the surrounding areas of it. Normally, you will find tanks and wildcats camping here on this hill. Engineers will be camping on these other hills, and attack choppers, whether your teams or the enemy chopper, will be on this side of the mountain. Transport will be going back and forth between ECD and G1 F1. This is their typical flight path, and they tend to spend more time on G1 or A1 because they are the least defended. So depending on your loadout, if you have air-to-air or air-to-ground missiles, you now have a general idea of where your targets will be. Try to stick to what your loadouts dictates so you can help your team the most. Don't take air-to-ground missiles, then go chasing transport vehicles while your team is being torn apart by tanks and brawlers. It is very difficult to take down a transport from full health to zero, especially if enemy soldiers are repairing it. Let's talk a little bit about managing your resources. Your flares takes a few seconds to be filled again, and if you got locked on and used your flares, do not fly back above the same area. Here we will utilize the map to give ourselves some time out till the flares are ready again. I will use the mountain on the left side of the map and slow down till my flares are ready. The reason I chose this spot is because it doesn't have a lot of air traffic and I can use the mountain to break the lock or even maneuver a wildcat missile, as you can see now. A strategy you can use to attack camping tanks or wildcats is to fly on a low altitude on the right side of the mountain till you reach the spawn of the enemy. Then gain altitude and turn to shoot them down. It's better to attack them from an angle that they are not expecting you from, rather than flying straight to them through the middle of the map. Utilize the terrain to your advantage and take your time to maximize the amount of damage and support that you can give to your team. If you like this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
Control of Sector Alpha. Assault on Echo 1 begun by our forces. sectors than they do. Make sure you defend our positions. Excellent! Our troops have taken Sector Bravo. We now control more sectors than them. Keep it up. We're out of the fight! You must return to the combat area.